the Millionaire Imprint for Women. This new radio show is about imprinting wealth for women, inspiring women of all ages to heal their karmic debts, to transcend the shame of poverty consciousness that women have lived with for centuries. It's time for women, for you, to have a new relationship with money, to radiate wealth from the inside out. We are creating a ripple effect, empowering millions of women to claim their inner wealth. Join Susan, Samantha, Momo, and Kornelia Fridays from 1 to 2 on the Kornelia Stephanie Show at Transformation Talk Radio. Are you in?
Hi, everyone. We're here today on the Kornelia Stephanie Show. My name is Momo Yasutake, and I'm here to host the show today for the one and only Kornelia herself. We've got loads of abundance stuff that we want to talk about today, but we wanted to start off with just bringing in the intention around shifting and discovering a way to feel emotionally wealthy inside and out. So go ahead, Kornelia.
Yes. I feel like that is absolutely the key for all of us, is feeling emotionally wealthy from the inside out, because I believe and I know that it is in our highest integrity that each and every soul, every man, woman, and child has that divine birthright to be wealthy from the inside out. Mm-hmm. And we have exactly what it is that we need within our own physical bodies to experience that reality. But the truth is, we have to act like it. Mm-hmm. We really have to act like it. We have to be the action of that energy. We have to act like we're wealthy, not like we're still acting in slavery or in poverty or in survival mode. And that's the huge piece right there, is because when we're still coming from, and I mean, this is what we're doing. We are releasing and letting go of the matrix of a world that we were born into, that we were conditioned by, that had us programmed to limitation, lack, survival consciousness, abandonment, not good enough, not feeling safe, feeling separate from our source, betrayal, all the emotional core wounds that we are having to undo in order to live in our integrity. And our integrity is to have a wealthy root. Mm-hmm. So my question is to you is, do you feel that wealth? Do you feel the root in your first chakra? Do you feel, I am wealthy, I am safe, I am secure, I am abundant? Is that the core energy? Do you feel that wealth? And if you don't, then really it's okay. There's no judgment around it. It's just that's a key indication, because your feelings are a key indication, letting you know where you are in your life so that you can make the changes, because we're going from survival to thriving. Mm-hmm. And if you're not thriving yet in your life, then there's still more letting go. So that's really what it is part of the show today is feeling emotionally wealthy. And my journey had me dive deep into this work. I developed my own signature healing modality. There's a lot of healing modalities that are out there. Mm-hmm. And for me, what resonated most with is when I became a law of attraction coach back in 2010, I was doing all the right things, thinking all the right positive thoughts. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do on a mental level that had me thinking positive and taking positive actions. Yet underneath it, I wasn't feeling it. And so there was something missing that The Secret and the Law of Attraction left out, and that was the emotional piece. And so my soul work had me, one of my things that was really important to me is I had to discover things on my own. And I wanted to come up with my own soul's work. So as a spiritual teacher today, that I am now guiding others into their own inner self journey so that they too can feel what's real for them and what abundance means to them, and what I am worthy means to them, and all these things. I had to first discover it for myself. And once I went through that dark night of the soul, because that's really what it came down to. It came down to really releasing the old matrix, because I too was in a job that was sucking the life force out of me. And then the soul was knocking and saying, do you want to live like this for the rest of your life? And it was really clear, and that I did not want to live beyond my means without core values. At that time, I didn't even have any core values. I didn't even know what core values were. I never even looked at it like, what is a core value? What do I value? And what is important to me? I thought I'm supposed to have the house, and I'm supposed to have all the stuff and do all of the things that and I was doing all that, yet I was miserable, right? And all that. And I was living way beyond my means. And so I had to really undo and let it all fall apart and let it all unravel in order to find out what I really wanted. And truly what I really wanted as a soul is that I want to be free. Can you relate to that, Momo?
Absolutely. So I'm hearing a bunch of amazing pieces as you're talking, and I want to digest that a little bit. Yeah. So with everything that you're saying, right, it was like all the things that you thought you knew and thought you were doing, they were all right, and you were doing all the right things. It was just missing one key component, which was the emotions, right? You weren't connecting with your emotions and paying attention to that. So how can the listeners today then find a way to actually connect into how they're truly feeling, and how to shift into and relate to the feeling of abundant and free when you're actually not in that circumstance at the moment, right? When not just your circumstance, but on a worldwide scale, there's a lot of negativity, or there's a lot of fear-based stuff on the news, and we're in the middle of this every day, and we have to somehow shift ourselves within that dynamic. What would be a good way to be able to start doing that?
The way that I started, is I started processing my emotions. So I started processing my emotions. What am I feeling? So it doesn't matter, whatever the situation is, whatever the event that's occurring in your life right now, whatever that is, whatever you're triggered by, if you're not feeling abundant, and if you're not feeling wealthy, and if you're not feeling that radiance, that emotional radiance that I'm talking about, if you're not feeling that, or you're feeling because I find this a lot too, people that have money are always afraid they're going to run out. They're always afraid it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. The way to do it is to process your emotions and really process how you're feeling. Of course, I developed an emotional processing technique that's free on my website at korneliastephanie.com. If you go all the way to the bottom, korneliastephanie.com, there's a little box, and it says, are you new to Kornelia's work? And there is an emotional processing technique. Go there and print that out and take it, and it's a technique that's going to help you identify what you're triggered about, what you're feeling, what is this about for me. So if you're talking about the world, that there's a lot of change happening out there, and you're really fearful about what's going to happen to you, or what's going to happen, then use that processing technique in order to release some of that old energy and see what it's about for you, because it's really about your empowerment. It's about you letting go of the old matrix, the old energy, so that you can resonate and really truly be in the new. And the new is that you're absolutely wealthy, radiant, and abundant from the inside out. It's just that if you don't feel that yet in your root, if you don't feel that yet, that's the work. And it's something that that you can do by diving into the feeling and really feeling what this is about for you, processing that emotion, and letting it go.
Mm-hmm. So you're telling, like, I think that's beautiful. A lot of what the issue is in most people, we aren't taught how to feel our feelings, which sounds silly because it's like a natural part of being human, but we aren't taught how. We're actually sometimes taught that we're not supposed to, or that we're not allowed to, or that they need to be shelved for when it's an appropriate time to process them, right? Or whatever, so that they can be expressed. So from there, once we process them then, and let's say we go through, your techniques and steps and things like that to process and really uncover and let go what the lower vibrating emotions are. From there, what happens? If you wanted to, let's say you did the work, to clear whatever, of course, it's a continuing practice, right? It's not like you did it one time, all right, you're cured for good. That's not how it works. But how would you then shift yourself into a higher vibrating emotion?
What I find with emotions is I find once the emotions, the negative emotions, it depends. Are you in pain? Are you crying? Are you upset? It depends on where you are. Is it just that you're angry or frustrated, or really, really find out where you are. If you're in pain, that means that there's some deep emotional core wounding that you're releasing and letting go of. So that's one thing. But if it's just not, it's not that painful, it just depends on where you're at. But I find that once you allow your emotions to move through anywhere between 24 and 48 hours, once you allow that to move, just like any storm out there, and you allow the storm to move through, then you're neutral again. And you're neutral. And your natural state is abundance. Your natural state is wealthy. That's the truth. And if you're in that natural state, now you're going to come from, hey, you feeling that amazingness. I've let that go. I've released it. I've let it go. I've released it. Now you're in your natural state. And in your natural state, there's nothing that you need to do. Isn't that amazing?
Isn't it? Isn't it amazing? So with that, and
the natural state, it's like, I feel good,
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It's such a great feeling space.
Just gave me the chills. It just gave me the chills.
Right? I know how that's actually our natural state. Isn't that crazy? So with that, let's keep those good chills going. We're going to continue on. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to continue on talking about how to actually go into the limiting beliefs that are keeping us from getting into that chill for excitement, natural state of wealth and well-being.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Momo.
Hi, I'm Kornelia Stephanie, and I'm here to inspire creatively wild women to rise rooted in spiritual and material abundance.
Hi, my name is Momo Yasutake. I am a healer, a soul strategist, a transformation coach, and manifestation queen, here to help liberate souls so that you can become the wealthiest version of yourself inside and out.
Hi there, I'm Samantha, and I'm here to inspire women to claim their wealth, vision, and their powerful presence.
Hi, my name is Susan Glavin, and I'm here to start an evolutionary revolution among women. It's time that we stand, we declare, we command, and we claim our abundant wealth.
Every Friday, you benefit from the experience of women who share their financial wisdom. For more information, go to KorneliaStephanie.com.
And we are back here on the Kornelia Stephanie Show with the Millionaire Imprint for Women segment with Kornelia here. And we were talking about earlier in the first segment of how to get back in our natural state in terms of our emotions, right? So in terms of our emotional body. So once we have gotten there, then it's now time to step into our mental bodies and do some shifting there. And we talk about a little bit about our belief systems or thought patterns that might keep us in a lackful state of mind.
Yeah. So, how I was talking about when you're going through the process of the grief, the loss, the crying, or whatever state you're in, that whatever emotional state you're in, because really that's the place. So you're either in a place right now, you can even ask yourself this right now. I feel safe, I am abundant. Is that true? Do you resonate with that? Do you own that? Do you really feel that? Or I'm not feeling abundant. I'm not feeling safe. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel worthy. If, by just asking those questions right there is a key indicator of where you are, because your root, your truth, your absolute truth is I am safe, I am worthy, I am abundant, I am wealthy. That's the new root in the new earth. The only thing you're doing with this emotional processing, shifting your negative limiting beliefs, and having a strong spiritual foundation is letting go of the old. Letting go of the old. That's really as simple as it is. Letting go of the old and grounding in the new. So, and again, it takes that self-discovery process and that journaling and that inner witnessing and where you are, or hiring a coach, investing. If you have the money, invest in a coach. By all means, invest in a coach, because it's so helpful to have somebody walk you through this process. Because again, it's frightening, and to shift and change some of these negative limiting beliefs that we were born into. It takes work, and it takes a diligence on your part to be able to unearth all of these things, right? Because all those limiting negative beliefs, they were programmed and lived in the subconscious. And would you believe it's all negative? It's all negative. That's the thing, is like your automatic pilot is negative.
So let's talk about that a little bit. So you said the automatic pilot and the beliefs that you were born into. So you're saying that we were born into, and correct me if I'm wrong, or refine this as I'm saying it. But if we were born into some beliefs or programs, are you talking about like cultural stuff where we were born, or because from what I know, there's nature and nurture, right? You're born into certain things. Obviously, you're, on a spiritual level, you may have chosen your parents, but, you were born into a certain family, into a certain tradition, into a certain culture. And then obviously there's other beliefs and stuff that are brought upon you while you're growing up. So how do we play a role just to shift us so we're not like, okay, well, this happened to us, versus, how do we play a role in the beliefs that we're actually operating by? Especially in the nurture section of it, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I really understand your question.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I'm answering it, if I understand. Okay. So, how I was saying that you were born into your subconscious, because from the time that from 0 to 7, you, as a baby, when you were born, you were openly, vulnerably accepting the programming, the conditions of how you were raised by your family, by your society, by your school, by your conditioning. So whatever stories were playing out at that time, that's what that's what was programmed into the subconscious.
Gotcha.
Those are the beliefs that say, oh, we have to work hard for our money, or the religious belief that is, oh, money is the root of all evil, or I'll never have enough. Whatever that programming, whatever played out from that time when you were so vulnerable and open, that's the negative programming. In addition to the program that you came in with,
Gotcha.
came in with that. Am I answering your question?
Yeah. So let me refine that a little bit too then. So do we have a role in, let's say, this stuff, the programs, the beliefs that we're growing up with? Do we have a role in letting that into our lives or not? For example, like if there's two twins, one decided to pick up one, they grow up in the same situation, the culture, whatever, parents, right? But same DNA, all that stuff. But one, decides to pick up one of the beliefs and makes it as her truth and lives by it, let's say, and the other does not. So is there a role that we play personally in how we pick up beliefs and make that our own? And if so, how do we kind of acknowledge that and maybe even forgive ourselves for, why did I even buy into that in the first place?
Yeah.
Is there a process around that at all, or?
Well, yeah, I feel like we do have a role because we chose it even, I mean, again, we chose it even before we came in order to transcend that energy, because
Right.
we're eternal souls. We just keep incarnating and coming back and coming back. And right now we came to this planet to bring this planet into her rightful state. And so the role that we're playing is releasing the old programming that was stored within our physical DNA over millennia. We're releasing that energy. And the role we're playing today is letting it go. All souls have already chosen this. We've all chosen this, and we're all going to the same place, because our evolution is calling for us now to move into our rightful state. For the last 26,000 years, we've lived everything that we're not. And this new cycle that we're now beginning in earnest, this new building with this wealthy root in place, with the truth as source, sovereign, self-realized beings that we are, our divine selves, fully awake, fully conscious. We've come from so many different places, but we're all here now so that we can live and experience everything that we are. So even the twin that said, I'm not going to do it this way, I'm going to go down the negative path. And then we have the one twin that is doing changing her beliefs and going down the positive path. It's just a matter of when will you choose, because the other twin is still in resistance and is still going down that path, and it's okay, and that is all okay too, and that's part of the role. But the role I think that we all are playing is we have forgotten our power, and we have forgotten our responsibility, and we have forgotten how amazingly powerful we are. And so when we remember now that we are energy stewards, it's all just energy, and that we can shift and change our realities, alchemize exactly the life that we want to live based on what it is that we believe and what it is that we know. And if we're willing to be vibrational matches to what it is that we want to see in the world, rather than projecting our stories out there in the world and going, they, looking back at where is your contribution and what is it that you are doing and being in that energy. Like, be the peace that you want to see in the world, be the love that you want to see in the world, be the abundance that you want to see in the world, be the prayer that you want to see in the world, be the walking, living prayer, be the divine truth of who it is that you really are, that you want to see in the world. Bring everything back to you is the role, right? Bring everything back to you. You get to bring everything back to you. And really, it's like, like I heard you mention the word forgiveness. It's like forgiveness is a tool to forgive yourself for, the path that you've chosen. Why did you choose that path? To grow. You chose it to grow. You chose the relationship. You chose the toxic situations. You chose it all on a soul level to grow.
Right.
Really, and really, that is really it. It's it.
Yep.
In the higher realms, everything is forgiven. There's nothing wrong. Even in the state of the world, how our world has been taken over by dark forces and all this bad stuff that's going on. It's all part of the plan.
Absolutely.
It's all part of the plan. And we came here now to assist the earth in moving into a higher vibrational state of living and being, and living in a consciousness that resonates with the truth of who we are. And the truth of who we are is fully abundant, radiant beings. So this requires for you to look and see what your belief system is around your spirituality, and what do you believe God is, or what do you believe your higher power is, or what do you believe source is, or what do you believe? Do you still believe that God is out there in the sky and the beard and and all of these things, or what does your higher power mean to you? And that's really how important it is you to find out what that means to you.
Right.
And then live and be that and stand in that belief system, stand for that. Even religion today, even all religions are a form of wanting to get close to God. And so it's not our path to judge what soul is choosing what.
Right.
We're all going home.
Right. Absolutely. And so what I'm hearing is we actually have a role in being able to choose what we want and don't want to believe in. So, because for me, I know it took me a really long time to accept that I chose my path, on a soul level, right? Because on a human level, it was, I was like, why the hell would I choose this? Like, are you kidding me? Who in the right mind would do that? But so it took me a long time to accept that. But what I'm hearing you say is it's that we all have a role in our life because we are the designer of our own life, meaning we get to choose what we want to believe in, right? And if we get to choose, then why not choose the one that's going to benefit us and get us into that higher vibrating frequency?
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Yeah.
So why not
So
that, right?
exactly. Why not? So with that, I'm going to leave that question for everyone here. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to move on to the simple 6 steps that everyone can do right now to shift their relationship with money.
Hi, my name is Janet Hickox, and I want to tell you a little story about a story and how my friend Kornelia Stephanie helped me through to the other end of that story. I have gone from the dark of a story I was telling myself that wasn't true to the light of optimism to see my way out of where I was and to where I want to go. And it all started with her scheduling a session for me to help me reclaim my money or my financial empowerment. Up until that point, I had been telling the story that my business was dying, that my business was not successful anymore. And the more I tried to figure out what was going on, the worse I felt about it. And when I had to get ready to do the session with Kornelia, she asked me to go look at the numbers and where I was through the year to date, and then also to come prepared with a number that I wanted to raise my income to. Well, I was quite comfortable with that part, right? I knew where I wanted to be. What I wasn't comfortable with doing is going and looking up those numbers, but I made myself do it, even though I tried to backpedal my way out of the session. She didn't know that, but I was going to try to get myself out of the session. And I looked up those numbers, and it was incredible that I discovered through that process that my business wasn't dying. In fact, I was doing 12% better than I had the year before. So I was shocked. I was shocked literally at the power of the story that I had been telling for months. But more than that, I was shocked that I had allowed myself to get there. And later in that day when I had my session with Kornelia, she pointed out some very obvious things like, how are you going to get where you want to go if you don't know where you want to go? How are you going to get there if you don't have the goals written out, if you don't have it set up so that you know where you are and where you're going to go? Totally makes sense, right? I had been in business, somebody else's business, as a sales manager for years, and I was a national sales manager. I had awards for sales management. I had business awards because of numbers. And yet when it came to doing my own business, I totally forgot all that I'd ever learned. So by the time Kornelia, working with me in just one session, got me to look deeper at the numbers and where did I want to go, and actually, claiming where I wanted to go, I was filled with a sense of optimism and hope like you can't believe. It was like everything shifted for me. And I am so looking forward to our continued sessions to see how far I can really push myself to get where I've only dreamed of being, where I've never taken the dream and actually brought it into concrete existence. So thank you, Kornelia, for the work that you're doing out there. I appreciate it, and I can't wait to see where I go from here.
And we're back. So we were just talking during our breaks, and I know we say that all the time, but God, the conversation that we have during our breaks, they need to be recorded or at least shown.
Yeah.
But we were talking about how I'm actually going to be relocating to Bali, and that was the choice I made a couple months back on a trip when I was in Bali for a couple months, and decided to just change my life and move there and have a life there, which is, seems like a big decision, but it's what I've been doing up until now since I started my journey, has been just to choose what I want to do and how I want to live my life. And this is just how it showed up. So, since we do have the choice to be able to choose what we believe in, and we get to design our life to be whatever we want it to be, we can also decide to choose what our relationship with money gets to be.
Yeah.
So I want to go into that a little bit with you. And you were talking about you had a 6-step process for that. So,
Yeah. Well, a couple things I want to say first is, again, this is exactly the perfect thing. Here you are, the way that you were conditioned and, what you were doing before. Now you're choosing exactly to live your life and build your life and set up your life exactly the way that you want to live it, based on your core values. You're making decisions based on the new subconscious belief that you've now put in there, that are now on automatic, and they are: I am abundant, I am worthy, I am infinitely wealthy, I am radiant.
Ooh, preach it.
All of those beliefs that you've now put in that are automatic, so that when you're making a choice to, oh, I really want to go live in Bali, and then the mental mind might think, well, really, can I do that? Well, the new belief is: I am worthy, I am abundant, I am infinitely wealthy. Yes, I want to live there. This is in resonance with my beliefs. I am a match for what it is that I want to attract and live in and create in my life. And that's you choosing it. You're being, conscious with your choice, but also you reprogrammed the subconscious through your own inner work. And that's the work that we're all doing. And the process that I'm going to tell you all about is a process that you can take yourself through, or again, hire a coach. You can hire any one of us here that you can assist you in helping you change some of these negative limiting beliefs that say that you're not worthy or not deserving. And it's all about, the relationship that you have with everything outside of you. So, it's the relationship you have with money. It's the relationship you have with your body. It's the relationship that you have with food. It's the relationship you have with sex. It's the relationship that you have with your work, with your lover, with your partners. It's a relationship. Life is the relationship. And if you find yourself in situations right now where things are falling apart or things are chaotic, bring it back to yourself and say, what is it that I can do now? What is this showing me? What is this about? Go to my website at korneliastephanie.com, download the free processing technique that I have there, emotional processing, and start doing the process and release some of these old emotions, because that's what it's about. It's letting go. It's letting go, letting go. I release everything and anything that no longer serves my path of light. I open myself up to all of the goodness, the amazing infinite abundance that's there for me. That's my divine birthright. That's the truth. That's the truth. And really, the only thing that you really need to do is let go. Is really let go and trust to choose again. Choose what's right for you, what's in resonance for you. Is it true? Is this true for you? That's a really big piece, is that the conditions of the beliefs that we thought of before aren't true for us. They don't resonate. They don't match. You don't want to make choices based on a religious program if you're no longer being a matching vibration with the religion that you were born into. And a lot of people are like that, So changing your relationship with money, because money is a tool and money is energy, is really important. You have to be able to look at money, whether it's $1 or $100 that you're holding in your hand, and have no judgment around that at all. It's just pure energy. It's a tool, and it's money. And if you have a belief and know that absolutely money adores you, and that you adore money, and that money is a tool, and that it infinitely flows through your life. Part of our collective is we still have money. It's still part of the planet. I don't know how many years we've been having an exchange with money, maybe over 100 years. I'm not really sure, but it really hasn't been around for that long. And collectively, we have not decided to completely be done with money. We are still in relationship with money, and you might as well have a good one. And so you might as well have a good relationship with money. And if you are feeling lack or running out and there's not enough, and that you have a love-hate relationship with money, that sometimes you feel good with it and sometimes you don't. It's the same kind of relationship that you feel with yourself. It's that self-talk that self-talk that you have with yourself. And so really to shift those relationships, and all starts within, right? And then it's how you relate to everything else.
Absolutely.
So, right?
Absolutely. So what would be like a practical, like, the practical 6 steps of how you would start shifting that relationship with money, or that inner work of relationship with yourself, which is equivalent to really your relationship with money?
Yeah. Well, the 6 steps are in an ebook that I wrote, which I'm going to make available to everybody here on the call today. So you can email me at radio@korneliastephanie.com and just ask for the ebook, and I will send it to you. But the 6-step process is, the first process is, this is with anything. How do I feel about you? Money, how do I feel? Right? Is like, how do I feel about you? And then write it out. How do I feel is it's a really important piece. It's like that with anything. How do I feel about myself? How do I feel about this food? How do I feel about sex? How do I feel about my partner? How do I feel? Because what you want to do is you want to find out how you feel about it. We talked about this earlier. A lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to feel because we've been conditioned to suppress and to numb. We turn to alcohol, we turn to shopping, we turn to all the various different things that distract us from really discovering how we feel about our partner. Whether our partner is money, because our partner is money. It's a good partner. Goodness gracious, it's an amazing partner. Because if you want to be financially free, then you want to have an amazing, juicy, awesome relationship.
Yes.
And by you saying, how do I feel? You're going to discover, oh my gosh, I don't feel so good about you. And that's when you really, you find out. So how do you feel? The next step, number 2, and these are all in the ebook, by the way, that is free for everybody here. The next step is discover what you believe. Like, what do you really believe? What do you believe? Look at that automatic programming that, oh my God, what do you believe? Like, what is the belief? I'm going to run out. Just looking at this and investigating what's in your subconscious. And then the third step is to, what are those 3 core beliefs? Really write them down, those negative limiting beliefs that you're continuously making choices on that you don't want to anymore. Really, it's as simple as that. And when we first started this process, I want to say back in 2010, 2011, 2012, when we began really shifting our negative limiting beliefs, it took a while. We started doing Psych-K. We did all these other processes in order to shift a limiting beliefs. But today, it's so fast now that all you need to do is just bring your consciousness to it and go, do I believe this is true? And what is your new belief? And if you still can't really take yourself into, I believe I have all the money that I desire, that I need and desire at any given time. That's a belief.
Absolutely. So what do you see commonly working with your clients or anyone that you've talked to around like the core limiting beliefs around money that you see a lot? Like, I think people do well with examples and going, oh, I have that one too. But do you see any common ones with people that you work with?
They're going to run out, that it's not, money is not enough, that there is, it's that's a big one. Money is not enough is a big one. I see that a lot. And that's why I even said earlier, I'm going to run out. It's not enough. And actually, you know what, if you look at it, not enough is directly related to the core wound of not worthy. because the
Mhm.
core wound of not worthy is if you Google worthiness,
Mhm.
and you're gonna find that the opposite of worthiness is lack of respect,
Mm.
lack of honor,
Mm.
lack of value.
Mhm.
Can you imagine that you have been making choices in your life that actually say that you don't have value and that you don't deserve respect and that you used to believe that program?
That's insane to think about. When you really look at it, it's like
What?
it doesn't make sense. Like even on a logical level, it doesn't make sense, like at all.
Yeah,
It's so silly,
it
you
is.
know,
But
to be operating from that framework.
it is, but it's like when that's where the lack consciousness comes from. It comes from
Absolutely.
I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough. And so when I work with clients, I see that a lot. I see that
Mhm.
that's the thing. Even people that have a lot of money, oop, we have to go to break.
Yep, yep. So it's time for a quick break, but we are gonna continue on with the next 3 steps and keep on going.
Okay, we'll be right back.
My name's Bob Skeel. I'm 91 years old, and I want to take a few minutes now to share with you the important role, actually the critical role, Kornelia has played in my life. I say critical because I'm not sure I'd be alive at all to the many possibilities that make up our human experience at my age, if not for her. I could have easily become another dead man walking, only half conscious, stumbling through my remaining years, if it hadn't been for Kornelia. 6 years ago, I lost my wife to Alzheimer's. We'd been married for 61 years. I never thought I'd be a widower, but there I was, suddenly lost and alone, but with the good sense to set a working goal for myself. I was going to spend the rest of my life committed to unconditional love, whatever that meant and wherever that took me. A year or so later, Kornelia came along, helping me over several years to focus that unconditional love where it had never been focused before, on me. My whole life, my entire being had been focused on love of neighbor, and I had derived great satisfaction from that. But in the process, I had ignored the second part. I love your neighbor as yourself. Now it was time to direct that love inward. I didn't see that right away, but Kornelia did, and she drew me there. She drew me actually to God. Through many conversations over coffee and after numerous, sometimes tearful, agonizing discussions, Kornelia was able to lead me, kicking and screaming, to within where I needed to be. It was there finally that I was able to re-identify myself. It was in bringing unconditional love to myself that I now saw myself in a new light, a fully conscious, worthy human being, capable of healing, loving, and creating in my own right all these gifts of the evolutionary process. I'm a new man now, younger as I get older. I don't move as fast as I once did, of course, but my smile is quicker and I engage the heart and mind of others more readily. I would likely not be at such a wonderful stage in my life if not for Kornelia. I owe my new life to her, a wonderful friend and a constant source of inspiration. Thank you, Kornelia.
So we're back again here, giving you the last 3 steps and how to shift your relationship with money. So go ahead. Well, we were on number 4, I believe.
So number 4. So part of what we were just talking about is the limiting belief. So then after that, when you really find out what your core limiting belief is, like I'm not enough, or it's not enough, or money is the root of all evil. That's a good one. You know, because I mean, think about what do you believe about money? Like really look at what your belief is around money. How do you feel about money? That's the reason why I have you start at step 1. How do you feel?
Right.
How do you feel? Because that's when you're going to see, oh, I feel, and you're going to spot some beliefs in there that you're going to be able to then write down on step 3 what your negative core limiting beliefs are around how you were conditioned, you know, and the beliefs and the choices that you're making every day. And so step 4 is, I love this one. You're the authority. You're the creator. You're in charge. You're the universe. You're the co-creator.
Mhm.
So the step is, how do you want to feel?
Mm.
How do you want to feel with money?
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you have a choice, just like you do, Momo, moving to Bali, you're choosing either you're going to stay in Santa Cruz or move to Bali, and you're going, I'm going over here. That is more in resonance with me. I'm choosing this. How do you want to feel? And that's actually the key to everything. The key to everything is in our physical bodies is, how do we want to feel? And if we're not absolutely feeling good and feeling at peace and feeling in joy and feeling passion and feeling freedom, then there's work.
Mhm.
That's it. So how do you want to feel in relationship with money?
Mhm.
So the way to write it out is write from an unlimited place. I want to feel free. I want to give how I want to give. I want money to flow in and out. I want to have a love relationship with money. I want to know that money is flowing in, that it's there for me. I want to feel like there's a party happening in my bank account. I want to feel abundant. I want to feel, and by doing that and feeling that and bringing that, imagine, can you already feel how fantastic this feels when you're in this vibration, how you want to feel? But you're not believing me that it's that simple. You're not believing that is that true that you get to feel that way? Yes, you do. You get to feel, you get to design. You're the designer and creator of your reality. You are the one that gets to act like how you want to feel.
So it's almost like you're flirting. That's what I felt like you were doing. So you were like flirting with the idea of, oh, maybe it's possible for me. And you don't have to believe it yet, but you just flirt with it, right? Go, well, she's kind of cute. This idea is kind of cute. This belief is kind of hot. I don't know. But then you start looking at it and feeling it and writing down, how you want to feel. And then it's contagious. You start feeling the higher vibration. You start feeling like, wow, well, imagine if I can do whatever I wanted with my money. And well, imagine if money was, like limitless. Like, imagine. So it's almost like what was that?
You said it. I love this. You said it. You said it. Flirt. That's really flirt. It's flirt. It's like, ooh,
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Well, why not? Well, can I? Well, I'm not sure, but I like it. Yeah, it truly is. It's like, and since we're talking about relationship with money, you can really think about it as a lover relationship, right? With when you find someone that you think is kind of cute or whatever, that's where you start. You don't jump in and say, "Hey, marry me." Right. I think you're the one. No, well, that could be the case too. But you start with a little bit of flirtation. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's a beautiful step. That's why, how do you want to feel is the number one thing. How do you want to feel in relationship to yourself? How do you want to feel with food? How do you want to feel with sex? How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to feel? That's why this process that I developed, you can use it on anything. So you'll use it time and time and time again. It's just so simple. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It really is. All you just need to do is just sit down and start doing the work, because really that's how I developed it, is that I sat down and said, okay, what is true for me here? And then I looked at, after I looked at it, I go, how do I want to feel? And then I said, okay, what do I want to believe? Because so now that I know how I want to feel, and then what is it that I believe? Well, what I believe is that I am abundant and infinitely wealthy. I am worthy. I am safe. I am trust. I am amazing. I am rooted. I am love. I am love. I am love. Those are the things that I believe, and those are the things that I know. That's what's been programmed into my subconscious now by me, the chooser. And that's the truth. And then the last step really is practice. Practice this new way is really it. It's just a very simple process, a 6-step process that's going to take you through it. And your emotions, your feelings are key. The emotional body, we talked about this earlier. There's the emotional body, there's the mental body, there's the spiritual body, and there's the physical body. And all of those reside here. And your physical body is the stargate. The universe lives inside of you. Everything outside of you is a hologram. You're standing in that, and you're the one. You're the abundant one. You're the prayer. You're the awakened one. You're the Buddha. You're the Christ. You're the one. You're the frequency holder. You are that abundance that you're seeking, but you have to act like it. So you have to believe that that's who you are. So when you think about it, you already have everything you need. You've got your emotions, you've got your beliefs, and you've got your strong spiritual center, and you've got your physical body. And go have some fun. Go have some fun. And I want to tell everybody that's listening today, if you want to join my Wealthy Roots Women's Circle, I still have spaces, and it's $396 a year, and we meet every 2 weeks. And I just want to say, one woman in our circle just last week said that she made more money in October than she has in a very, very long time. And it's part of being that wealthy root. And the work that we do together as a group is so powerful. So go to corneliastephanie.com and sign up for the Wealthy Roots Women's Circle.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yay.
So working with you is going to be more like this, more or less the 6 steps, the feeling the energy, checking in where the beliefs are, where you're getting caught up, where you're at. So this whole process is the way you work, right?
Yeah, it all has to do with the 4 bodies. I teach people how to
Gotcha.
heal themselves. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is I help people move into wholeness, move into their wholeness, and because we're already whole, but it's just you're letting old fragmented parts of you die away so that you can live and be in your wholeness.
And I do see too, like, you did go through the steps and they're great and you can do it yourself, but the difference in having someone guide you through it and hold that space for you, I know for myself, I've seen that. And I can just tell by the way you're talking about it is the difference that it makes when someone is actually holding you in the higher level frequency already versus you just holding it, trying to hold it up for yourself and because you're trying to create a whole new paradigm for yourself. That's what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're unplugging from the own. And that's a lot of building that you're doing. You're reconstructing your whole field, you know?
Yeah.
So I can see how, having, a coach and someone guiding you through that is a huge, huge thing. So when your website has everything there.
CorneliaStephanie.com. I want to thank you so much, Momo. You did a fantastic job in hosting me.
Thank you.
I love talking to you. Thank you so much. And and then, see us, tune in next week for, let's see who's next week.
I believe it's Samantha.
Yeah. So tune in next week and we'll see you again on the Millionaire Imprint for Women. Mwah. Thanks, Momo.
So much love.
Yeah.